Welcome to the Market Frontlines. I'm Lyndsay Malchuk. Today we're zoning in on a gold story that's starting to rattle in the quiet corners of the exploration world. Kobo Resources is drilling in one of West Africa's most explosive gold belts, and the early numbers are forcing investors to really start paying attention. Now, this isn't a vanity program. This is a high conviction push into Ivory Coast. And this is a region that has delivered major deposits but remains wide open for discovery. Sitting with me is the man driving that charge, Ed Gosselin, CEO of Kobo Resources. Ed, it's so great to have you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Thank you for having me.
Now, let's start right at the core, if we could, right at the strategy. Now, you're operating in a region that has made and broken explorers. So tell us what gives you the conviction to push hard in Ivory Coast while so many juniors are playing it safe. I mean, what are you seeing that makes you double down when others are hesitating?
Well, I think that the climate for investment in Cote d'Ivoire is fantastic with the change of the mining code 10 years ago. Two, the underexplored region of that part of West Africa where Cote d'Ivoire hosts 35% of the Birimian rock formation. Mm-hmm. And three, the will of the government to make the mineral extraction industry their second economic engine of the country.
Now, conviction is one thing we know for sure, but numbers are what actually are turning that conviction into capital. Now, your recent drill results, they lit up the news, but investors want more than just the headlines. So if we strip down that for us, I mean, what specific data from those holes tells you this is not just smoke? And what are the hard evidence pieces that says this system has real size?
Well, first and foremost, the geology that we have resembles pretty much what the neighbor has been mining, which is Perseus Mining of Australia. Yeah. So we're pretty much in the same rock package. The second thing is we've made two essential discoveries, one which is called the Road Cut Zone and the other the Jagger Zone. And we're trying to connect the two together. And if we're successful in doing that, we will have a strike extent of approximately 3.5 kilometers. Mm-hmm. And we've identified a shear zone that is, especially at the Jagger section, at least 70 meters wide. And we've drilled it down to 170 meters, and we've got 8 meters at 3.72 grams per ton at that depth. We've recently drilled lower down to 250 meters vertically. Those results should be coming out next week. We hope that they are in par with what we've seen so far. And then on the Road Cut Zone, the numbers are similar. We've also targeted a specific area where we had found some artisanal miners, and we're seeing some good grades coming out of there. And we've drilled to about 100 to 120 meters. We're trying to drill even deeper there. So if we're successful in connecting the two packages together, I think the numbers are going to be looking quite good.
Well, already those are pretty strong signals. So congratulations on all of that. Now let's cut through that market narrative and really get to the reality on the actual ground. West Africa excites investors. We know that, but it also scares them. So political risk, infrastructure challenges, funding gaps, those are all things that we're all as investors looking at. So how much of the market's perception is noise, and really how much is the brutal reality you're actually managing day to day?
Well, I think in terms of infrastructure, it's pretty much noise because we couldn't get it any better than what we have right now on the Kobo license. I mean, we literally drive up to the license on a paved road. We're 35 kilometers away from the capital city of Yamoussoukro. We are 9 kilometers away from an existing mine. There's a power dam that separates the two of us. There's water that's accessible. The local talent pool is available in abundance. Drillers are available. Labs, there are at least 4 labs within 30 kilometers. So, I mean, it's a kind of a dream come true in terms of operations. So that's fantastic. In terms of the political climate, I mean, they have their elections every 5 years. There's one coming up at the end of this month. So we expect not much change, and it should be business as usual. And people got to remember that Cote d'Ivoire used to be way back the economic engine of West Africa, and with this change that was brought about 10 years ago with the new mining code, they've regained that pole position. And I believe that they generate about 40% of the GDP of the whole West African region. So their goal was to make mining the second economic engine of the country after cocoa production. They've been successful. They've gone from 20 tons to barely right now 60 tons of gold production. They expect to reach 80 to 100 tons by 2030. There are mines popping up left and right. So it is a fantastic climate to be in.
Well, I mean, all of that is great news. I want to actually just pivot just a little bit here to the other side of this story, and that's the financial engine that drives everything. So explorers, they talk about discovery, but the real story is often in the treasury. My question is, how much runway do you have to execute your current plan, and what happens if, in fact, the market may turn before you raise again? I mean, are you ready for that scenario?
Yes, we are. We just wrapped up a cap raise of basically $4 million. We're already working, to look at if the market is willing to open their wallet again for us, getting ready. We've already drilled, I would say, close to 28,000 meters as we speak. We intend to drill up to 45,000 before we come out with our first MRE in Q1 of next year. But we are in a kind of a unique position as a junior. Like I mentioned before, 9 kilometers away from an existing mine, a resource of 2.5 million ounces, of which 50% nearly already extracted as we speak. So that operator will be needing ore in order to continue feeding the beast next door. That beast can process 4 million tons per year. Yeah. So, I mean, if you put the numbers together, then the scenario, you're looking at a potential takeout within 12 months.
Well, I mean, Ed, finally, before we wrap up, let's talk about what the market isn't actually watching closely enough quite yet. Investors, they often react to assays, but the real game changer here is that strategic move that's behind the scenes. So I want to unpack that. What's the one upcoming decision or development that you think will catch the market completely off guard here?
Well, I mean, people need to recognize, like you mentioned, the circumstances. Yeah. And they need to pay attention to the details of those circumstances. Mm-hmm. And that is what I just mentioned. We don't need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to be successful here. All we need to is prove anything be above, I would say, 500,000 ounces to anywhere to 1 million, if not more. But the neighbor will be in need of that asset. Okay. Because the asset that they're operating on right now generates approximately 60% of its free cash flow. Wow. So if your main asset is going to be depleted in a few years, you need to start looking around what's next that you can get your hands on in order to continue feeding the beast. So there's nothing else but us in a 30 to 40 kilometer radius. So investors need to connect the dots together and say, oh, okay, I'm not investing here for 5 to 7 years. I'm investing for the short term, and I'm going to potentially get a payout. So why should we have to invest 400 to 500 million like they did, to develop the asset? It's already done. It's a no-brainer. So that's the game plan.
What a great insight. Thank you so much. And thank you again for joining me. It's always good to sit with you, and I look to have you back soon, okay?
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Again, that was Ed Gosselin, CEO of Kobo Resources. Now you can track every drill, every catalyst, and every move on the venture under the ticker symbol KRI and their entire story over at KoboResources.com. Now the story in Ivory Coast isn't waiting for the market to catch up. It's unfolding now. I'm Lyndsay Malchuk on the Market Frontlines. Join us next time to uncover where speculation meets strategy. We'll see you soon.